What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a great day today. It's going to be a quick video. I just thought I'd sit down, and it's been a while since I've just gone through a Void install. There's been a few changes to the Void installer. We're not going to do a chroot version this time. I'm going to actually walk through the Void installer because there are a few differences from what it used to be. This came out a little bit ago, so you guys might have seen these changes already, but I haven't covered them yet. I haven't kind of walked through the system yet, so we're going to go ahead and do that today. That's all we're going to do. I'm running out of time. I got a test today for my software and security tests or class, so I'm not going to spend any time configuring anything like that. We're just going to build a VM. We are going to install Void Linux from the Void installer, and we are going to check out what's new in it. So let's go ahead and get started. So we are going to actually jump over here to my screen, and we're going to launch my addvm.sh script. So we're going to run that. It's going to ask us to add a new virtual machine. So we are going to say 2025 void and hit enter. CPUs, we're going to go ahead and give it, well, we'll just say 6. How much mem? We're going to do 8192. Sorry, I have to reach around my microphone because my desk is small, so I apologize if I look clunky or whatever. But path to ISO is going to be /home/Jake/media ISO, and it's going to be new void ISO. So I've already downloaded the ISO. I saved it as new ISO because I have a whole bunch of ISOs, a bunch of which I could get rid of. But so let's look at this again. We're going to name this 2025 void, 6 CPUs, 8192 for the mem. We're going to pass the path as home Jake media ISO, new void ISO. So let's hit enter on that. Size of disk, we're just going to do 30. Type of OS, we're going to do Linux 2020. Hit enter. We're going to do a UEFI setting and hit enter. Let's look and see if all the information is correct. 2025 void, CPUs, 8192, path to ISO, correct, 30 gigabytes. Is this correct? We're going to go ahead and say yes. It is going to go and take a second to launch, but we'll give it a second here. We will let it launch. Hit enter, and there we go. And sorry, sometimes I can never remember if it's press enter and then it goes, or it goes and then press enter, and it's not going to launch the graphics server. There it is. Just took a second. So we're actually going to move this out of the way and just have our void install up there. So hit enter. Sometimes I have some issues with my scripts. It's been a while since I've done script maintenance and gone through and checked things out, so I apologize for that little delay and my unsure of whether it was going to boot or not. But it looks like QEMU Vert Manager is running a little slow, KVM. So hopefully this will not be a huge deal. But there we go. Usually Void Linux boots super fast. This is actually kind of unusual. So I don't know if maybe it's my setup or if it is the actual ISO that is having issues. But I guess we'll just be patient and see what happens. So if any of you guys caught me on the Linux cast, that was a good time. I enjoyed sitting chatting with Matt and Drew, a couple of great guys, so I enjoyed that immensely. If you haven't seen it yet, go over and check it out. I would say if you weren't subscribed to Matt's channel, then go ahead and do that, but I'm pretty sure 99.9% of you guys are more aware of Matt than anything. But if you don't know who Drew is, if you know Matt's channel, you probably know who Drew is. But if you don't know who Drew is, go ahead and check Drew out at Just a Guy Linux. He's got a great channel over there. So there we are, Void Live login. So we are going to log in as root, and we're going to say Void Linux for the password. We're going to clear. So now we have a fresh screen, and we are actually going to run, since we are in sudo, we are a root user, we are just going to run void dash installer and hit enter. Now this is going to walk us through the Void installer. This is a real super easy way if you want to get familiar with Void. Some people have trouble with it, but we're going to walk through it. It's kind of quick. I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time on it, but I just wanted to again show you the new stuff that's going on. But this should give you a real good idea of how to actually install via the Void installer. Boy, I can't talk today. Okay, so welcome to the Void Linux installation, a simple, minimal Linux distribution made from scratch and built from the source package tree available for XBPS. So we're going to go ahead and hit enter because they say the installation should be pretty straightforward. If you're in trouble, please join us at IRC Libre Chat. So we're going to go ahead and hit enter. Now we're going to go ahead and set up a keyboard. So we're going to hit enter. I am on an English keyboard. So we're just going to go down to EN there. We'll hit enter on EN. Network, I should be all set up with network. We'll just hit that. ETH0, yes, we'll say yes. Network is working properly. You will have to set up your network if you're on Wi-Fi or whatever. You'll have to go through and make sure it's connected to the internet. But since I'm in a VM, it's obviously reading like I'm hardwired. So we're going to go ahead and hit enter. Now, source installation, we are going to pick the installation. So we either can do local, which is just the packages from the image, or we can do network, which is base only, downloaded from the repository. We are going to do base only. If you do local on this, odds are you're going to end up with, I believe, XFCE and some other stuff maybe, possibly. I'm not sure on the regular one, but go ahead and hit network. That's how we're going to install. Select a mirror. This is fairly new. They originally, or a while back when I did my last one, I believe, I don't think they had a mirror selection. So we're going to go ahead and hit enter. So for the best experience, choose a mirror geographically close to you or use Fastly Global CDN listed in World. To use the default mirror, repo-default.voidlinux.org, which can point to any Tier 1 mirror, select default. Tier 1 mirrors are maintained by the Void Linux infrastructure team and will always have the latest packages available. Tier 2 mirrors are not managed by Void and do not have any guarantees of freshness or completeness of packages, nor are they required to sync every available architecture or sub-repository. So you always want to go with a Tier 1 tree. So let's go ahead and hit enter. We're going to go with North America. Again, you can go with default, but we're going to go with North America. We're going to hit enter, and we are going to say Chicago because that's the only Tier 1, and that is the closest to where I am anyway. So we'll actually maybe, well, I don't know. I think Chicago's probably. So we're going to hit Chicago. We're going to say yes. It's going to walk through, and it's going to update our mirrors. We're going to say OK. Now we're going to set a host name. What do we want our system to be? We're going to say new void and hit enter. Set system locale. So we're scanning locales. Give this a second, and we are going to do EN. Or just E, and then find the EN US UTF-8, and we're going to hit OK. Time zone, set a time zone. We are in America, and again we are in Chicago. Well, not in Chicago, but that's the time zone we use. Now we're going to set a super secret, almost uncrackable root password. And we're going to hit enter, and it's going to have us type that again, and hit enter. Now we're going to set up a primary user and password. So the primary user login name, you can have this be whatever you want, but we are going to have it be Jake, and display the name for Jake. We're going to say Jake, and the password, give it another super secret uncrackable password, and hit enter. Now we are going to select a group membership. So we're going to go and we're going to look for some groups. So you can change and add yourself to whichever group you want here. We're going to leave it as the default, but you can just go through here if you want to set yourself to be a member of any certain group. You can go through here, select the ones you want to be. Basically, you just highlight, say you want to be in the disk group. You put the cursor there and you press space. You see that little asterisk appear and you are good to go. But we're going to go ahead and leave it as is, well, with disk now because I just added it. We're going to hit OK. Now we're going to set disk to install bootloader. We're going to hit enter. Now, manage bootloader or otherwise, I don't recommend doing this. You can if you want to. I'm not going to get into it, but if you want it, then you're going to go right here to dev VDA or whichever disk you're installing Void Linux to. Again, I'm on dev VDA because this is a virtual machine. We're going to hit enter. Do you want to use a terminal, graphical terminal for bootloader? We're going to say yes. So now we're going to go ahead and partition the disks. So we're going to hit enter. Now we've got dev VDA, and that's the disk we want to use. Make sure when you're doing this you actually select the disk that you're trying to use, because if you don't, you're going to be running into some problems. So we're going to go ahead and select that. We are going to go ahead and use CF disk. You can use F disk if you want. That's how I usually do things when I'm installing, but I usually do that via chroot. If I'm using something graphical like this, then we will go the easiest route possible to make this as easy on you guys as we can. So we're going to choose CF disk. We're going to hit enter. Now make sure you read through this. So if your BIOS system, MBR or GPT partition tables are supported. To use GPT on PC BIOS systems, an empty partition of 1 megabyte must be added to the first 2 gigabytes of the disk with the partition type BIOS boot. You do not need this on EFI systems. So If you're doing a BIOS system, you need that 1 megabyte must be added to the first 2 gigabytes of the disk on non-EFI systems. If you're using EFI systems, GPT is mandatory, and a FAT32 partition with at least 100 megabytes must be created with the partition type of EFI system. This will be used as the EFI system partition. I think a lot of people skip reading this and they get mixed up because I have a lot of people complaining about boot issues. This partition must have the mount point of /boot/EFI. So you need, for an EFI system, you have to at least have 100 megabytes with partition type EFI system, and it has to be mounted at /boot/EFI. At least one partition is required for the root FS, the root file system. For this partition, at least 2 gigabytes is required. But more is recommended. The root file system partition should have a partition type Linux file system. For swap, RAM 2 should be enough, and the partition type Linux swap should be used. I don't ever use swap. Never have, never will. Don't ask me why. I don't right now, obviously, because on my laptop I've got 1,000,000 gigs of RAM, but that's neither here nor there. So we are going to go ahead and hit enter now, and we are going to do a GPT partition. We are going to hit new. What size do we want? We want, we'll just say 258 M, and we're going to hit enter. And what type? So we're going to scroll over to type. We're going to hit enter, and we'll go all the way up to the top to EFI system. Now we're going to go to free space. We're going to hit enter, and we are going to go back here, and we're going to say 12 gigs, and we're going to hit enter. And then when we go to type, remember how it said it wants a Linux file system. You could do Linux root, x86, 64, whatever. We'll say Linux file system. Then we're going to do this. Size 17.7 is just fine. Oops. Let's go back up to partition. I actually hit the no. So we want to partition the disks. There we go. Let's do this again. Sorry about that. Okay, so now we're going to do GPT. We're going to say free space. Again, I'm reaching around stuff and I just fat fingered something. So partition size, we're going to do 258, and we'll say M, hit enter. Type is going to be EFI system. Then we're going to go to the free space. We're going to hit enter. Going to change this to 10. Now again, you need to make these whatever size your disk is, whatever size you're comfortable with using. Home directory and root directory are separate on this. This is how I'm doing it. So you can make your home directory and your root directory as big as you would like. I'm just setting this one to 10 gigs. We're going to hit enter, and the type is going to be Linux file system. And then we go to free space, we hit enter. We're just going to hit enter again. We'll go over here to type, and this one we are going to do Linux home and hit enter. And now we are going to double check, so you can see we've got dev1 VDA, dev VDA1, dev VDA2, and dev VDA3. We've got one is an EFI file system, one is Linux file system, one is Linux home. We are good to go. They are the size we want, so we're going to go ahead and hit write. Are you sure you want to write the partition table? You need to type YES, not just type Y. You have to type yes. And we're going to hit enter, and it says the partition table has been altered, so now we can quit. So now we are going to configure the file systems and mount points. So we're going to hit enter. So dev VDA1 is our boot, so we're going to come over here, and remember it said it had to be what? FAT32 or VFAT, so we're going to come down and select FAT32. We're going to hit enter, and it had to be a /boot/EFI, so we're going to do /boot/EFI. And we are going to hit enter. Do you want to create a new file system? We're going to hit enter on yes. Now we're going to go to VDA2 and hit enter, and we're just going to do ext4. We're not going to do BTRFS or anything like that. So we're going to do ext4. We're going to hit enter. This is going to be our root directory, yes. And then on 3, we are going to do ext4 again, and this is going to be /home. And so that's going to be our home directory. So we're going to hit enter. We just create a new file system. We're going to come over here and we're going to say done. Now we've got everything done. We're going to go ahead and install. So we've got keyboard, network, source, mirror, hostname, locale, time zone, root password, user account, bootloader, partition, and file systems done. Install, start installation with saved settings. Do we want to do that? We're going to go ahead and hit OK. It's going to take a few minutes. It says data partitions will be completely destroyed for new file system. Do you want to continue? Let's just double check. We do have new file system VDA1 as boot EFI. We have VDA2 as root, and we have VDA3 as root home. So yes, we want to continue. This is going to take a minute to actually go through the install process. So if you guys can think of anything else you want to hear and check out on Void, I'm going to start doing a little bit more coverage on doing stuff there. Maybe building. I've already done building source. Void source package templates, but maybe doing services, per user services, stuff like that. There's anything you guys want to see in particular, feel free to reach out to me via email or in the comment section. And let me know stuff you'd like to see, because I really want to get the word out. I've been a very big advocate of Void for a long time now, and it's just something that I think a lot of people would love to use if they were just given the opportunity to have a chance to do it. So go ahead and just let me know if there's anything you want to see. And secondly, if it's not a Void related video and there's something you want to see, by all means let me know that as well. I'm always looking for video ideas. There's things that I want to get out, but nothing that's super pressing. So if there's stuff you want to see or stuff you're interested in that you would like to see me cover, then I would greatly appreciate that. And third, as Matt always says, I would really appreciate it if you would throw a thumbs up on this video. That really helps out my channel. Helps with the growth of the channel and getting me out there in the algorithm. YouTube is very stingy with who they recommend, and if I could get a little help with the algorithm and the recommendations, that would be greatly appreciated. So those likes, those thumbs up, those comments, everything helps me out immensely. So I appreciate that. Looks like we'll be done here in just a second. It's unpacking firmware and going through the rest of the install process here, and we are good. 139 downloaded, 139 installed, 0 updated, 139 configured, 0 removed. So we can go ahead and hit OK, and it's going to take a second here, and it's going to walk through updating the database, yada yada yada, run through the Dracut, Dracut, however you want to pronounce it, and we should be good here in just a second. So it's including all these. I am going to actually cover, I've got a script that I'm building. I did put out on my Patreon a post saying that I'm building a kind of toolkit using FZF scripts, and I am doing that. I am working on one right now that has a bunch of kernel stuff. You can check kernel information. When you update, it shows you what changes were made in the kernel. It shows you what kernels are installed, what kernels being used. I'm going to add stuff in there to be able to enable and disable modules. Just all kinds of stuff. So if that sounds interesting to you, let me know, and I will put a rush on that one and hopefully have it out and actually covering the whole kind of toolkit. Maybe one script at a time, maybe just the whole thing. I'm not sure. So this is taking a little longer than I expected, but we should hopefully be done fairly soon, and then we can actually boot into this. Because that's pretty much it. So as you're going through, you can see it's a real simple install. As long as you're reading directions and following what's going on, it's really a pretty basic install when you use the Void installer. There's not a lot to it. It walks you through everything pretty clearly. Like I said, the biggest thing I've seen people struggle with is boot issues when they're done. You got to pay attention on that screen before you partition the disks. It tells you how to set everything up, what you need, and if you don't follow that exactly, then you're going to run into issues with booting and with everything being set up incorrectly. So there we are. We are configured successfully. We can go ahead and hit OK. Applying the installer settings. Give it 1 second here to do that, and we can be good to go and actually boot into our Void. Oh, we can actually select services to enable now. This is new. So this wasn't a thing before, I don't believe, selecting your services to enable. So you can actually go down here and go through and select what you want enabled. We have DHCPCD enabled. You do IP6 tables, IP tables, SSHD. So let's just go ahead and highlight a couple of these. SSHD, WPA supplicant, maybe. No, we don't want to do that one. It looks like that's it, huh? So just for this install, since we didn't install a whole bunch of stuff, this is all it's given us. But if you install things during the process, like if you installed Network Manager, I'm sure it would give you the option to fire that off here. If you installed maybe Dbus, if it's not installing on the install, then you'd probably start that. But this is just something, one of the other things that's new. Selecting the mirrors, I think, is fairly new, and enabling these services is fairly new. The rest of it's pretty straightforward and pretty standard, but this is new here. So we are going to let's do IP tables and IP6 tables. What the heck? Just to select a few things, and we'll go ahead and hit enter. It's been installed successfully. Do you want to reboot? Yes, let's go ahead and reboot and cross our fingers, and we will see what happens here. So there we go. The display output is not active, but we now are booting, Tiana Core, Void Linux. hit enter, and let's see if we can get ourselves into a system here. Now, I know they did have a bug for a while that was fixed a while ago when you created your user. You weren't part of the sudoers group, but I believe that was changed a while ago and repaired. So we are booting into everything. We new void login. Let's go ahead and enter our username and our super secret uncrackable password, and we're good to go. So if we clear the screen, you can see if we sudo xbps-install. Whoa. Boy, bad typing today. You got to give it the, oops, got to throw in the password there. There, Jacob. Give it the password, and we are going to have to give it the obligatory fast fetch to show everybody what's up. And how about we do clear. And I think my batteries are going dead in my cheap keyboard, so that might be a issue I'm having. So clear and fast switch. There we go. So we have Void Linux, KVM, QEMU, or QEMU, or however you want to pronounce it. We got the 6.12.33 kernel. Uptime is 1 minute. We have 141 packages installed. Bash 5.2.32. And yeah, so it looks like everything's good to go. We've got 7.74 gigabytes memory, swap disabled, don't have that disk, yada yada yada. So anyway, just like that, we are all up and ready to go. So hopefully this helped you guys out and kind of gave you a good idea of a super simple way to get Void installed and going. If you have any issues with that, if you have problems with your system, if you have problems booting afterwards, again, you know how to reach out to me. You got my email, my YouTube channel, however you want to get in touch with me. Feel free. I might not be able to answer your question, but I am more than happy to try and help. Sometimes you got to be patient with me because I do get a little busy, but I do try to get back to everybody I possibly can. So anyway, I hope that helped, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. So if that's it, you guys just have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week. Stay safe, and God bless.